If love is blind, money is the perfect disguise. Have you ever stopped to think about how many relationships seem genuine until a bank account enters the picture? Sometimes, what we call affection might just be the golden reflection of status, a promise of security, or a certain lifestyle. Money can't buy love. Everyone knows that. But what few are willing to admit is how convincingly it can imitate it so perfectly that even the most discerning heart can be fooled. We live in a world where the value of things, and even people, often seems to be measured by the price they carry. When money enters the scene, it rarely enters quietly. It changes the tone, alters dynamics, creates expectations, and often sets new rules in a game that was once emotional. Relationships that once seemed simple become more complex. Bonds that were once spontaneous now carry the weight of interests, hidden motives, and, in many cases, carefully constructed illusions. Imagine a couple who begin their relationship grounded in shared interests, affection, and common goals. Over time, one partner's financial situation changes dramatically. They prosper, accumulate wealth, and rise to a new social position. The other begins to realize that what once felt light now carries an implicit responsibility. The restaurant bill is no longer split, decisions aren't as democratic, and love starts to compete with the quiet power of money. The problem intensifies when money begins to act like a lens. It magnifies gestures that would have gone unnoticed, distorts intentions, and sometimes even conceals truths. Who is with whom, and why? Is it love or convenience, connection or comfort? These questions don't arise for no reason. They appear because, in the presence of money, even the most genuine feelings are placed under suspicion. And it's not just about the one who has more. Insecurity also affects the one who has less. Financial dependence creates a dangerous asymmetry. The person who depends may remain silent in the face of abuse, accept unfair dynamics, or even idealize a form of affection that has, in practice, become transactional. Freedom, which is essential for true love, disappears when one partner feels they need the other to survive. In many cases, money becomes an emotional substitute. Gifts take the place of quality time. Trips and dinners become justifications for emotional absence. The bank account turns into a form of compensation for missing affection. And with that, we get used to trading presence for performance, connection for comfort, and love for appearance. What's most alarming is that this process isn't always conscious. Many believe they are living a love story, when in fact they are trapped in an unspoken agreement, upheld by figures and material rewards. And this isn't money's fault in itself, but rather the place we give it in our lives and our relationships. It's a problem of perception, of values, and of how we mistake the shine of gold for the warmth of affection. This is where reflection becomes urgent. To what extent does money shape what we feel? Can we truly distinguish love from comfort, affection from convenience? Because if we can't answer that, we risk living relationships based on a lie so well told that not even the heart realizes it's being deceived. Love, in its purest essence, is free. It is born from presence, from mutual recognition, from giving without guarantees. It is a feeling that cannot be calculated, negotiated, or conditioned. But money, with its power to transform and its promise of security, challenges this logic. It offers shortcuts to affection, simulates care through gifts, and performs interest with gestures that often lack emotional roots. When this happens, love stops being a free choice and becomes a conditioned response. And that's when we lose its authenticity. Philosophically, this tension between love and money reveals a conflict between two worlds, the world of being and the world of having. Love belongs to the realm of being. It is who we are with the other, what we share without masks, what we build through vulnerability. Money, on the other hand, operates in the realm of having. It is possession, control, a form of power. When we try to reconcile these two domains without awareness, we end up turning love into a commodity and the relationship into a contract. We lose the spontaneity that makes love real and replace it with a logic of exchange, where everything requires something in return. Nietzsche said that the value of something lies not in what it offers, but in what it demands of us. Love demands surrender, courage, and time. Money, on the other hand, often promises to fulfill those demands effortlessly. You can buy time with convenience, affection with gifts, and even attention with status. But the truth is that none of this sustains love when it's put to the test. When the charm of novelty fades, what remains? If the foundation of the relationship is material, it crumbles at the first sign of trouble. Only what is lived in truth survives the test of time. Therefore, the problem is not money itself, but the illusion that it can replace what only genuine affection can offer. Love needs presence, not performance. It feeds on a sincere gaze, not an open wallet. And as long as we keep trying to buy what can only be earned with soul, we will be doomed to live relationships where what seems like love is just a reflection. Beautiful perhaps, but empty of truth. In everyday life, this confusion between love and money shows up in subtle, almost imperceptible ways. It's the boyfriend who gives expensive gifts but is never emotionally available. It's the partner who is dazzled by the lifestyle but shows no real interest in the person behind the bank account. It's couples who live together for financial convenience but sleep apart due to a lack of connection. Society normalizes these dynamics as if it were natural to trade affection for comfort, presence for status, partnership for convenience. And little by little, many begin to mistake a shared life for a mutual survival agreement. This logic also appears in family relationships. Children who only visit their parents when an inheritance is at stake. Relatives who show up when there's something to gain. Even in friendships, money can distort intention. Invitations appear when the other can cover the bill. Compliments multiply when there's something to be gained. And the saddest part is that these relationships fade as quickly as money changes hands. When the resource runs out, so does the presence. And that's when the truth is revealed. What looked like a bond was merely self-interest. That's why so many people, even when surrounded by others, feel profoundly alone. Because deep down, we all want to be loved for who we are, not for what we have. Everyday life is full of stories about financially successful people who can't trust anyone who comes close. At the same time, there are those who accept empty relationships just to maintain a comfortable life. These are choices that reveal how much we still confuse value with price. And as long as this confusion persists, we will live in relationships where affection is always questioned and authenticity is sacrificed in the name of appearances. In the end, money is merely an amplifier. It doesn't create love, but it can disguise its absence. It doesn't build true bonds, but it can decorate them enough to make them seem real. The real issue is that by letting ourselves be seduced by this illusion, we risk accepting relationships built on appearances while ignoring the absence of what truly matters. Authentic presence, sincere care, the desire to be together even when nothing is being offered in return. Living consciously means recognizing when comfort becomes dependence, when affection is conditional, and when a bond stops being a choice and becomes a contract. That takes courage. Courage to face the other's truth, and more importantly, our own. Courage to give up certain conveniences in the name of something rarer, the kind of love that withstands time, that doesn't shift with a bank balance, that grows stronger in times of crisis, and that blossoms even in scarcity. That kind of love exists, but it cannot be bought. It must be built. And maybe this is the most important question we can ask ourselves today. If everything you had disappeared tomorrow, who would still be by your side? Because it's in that emptiness that truth reveals itself. And in the silence of what can't be bought, we find the only kind of wealth that truly matters. If this reflection resonated with you, if it makes sense to rethink the value of your relationships and the role money plays in your life, subscribe to the channel. Here, we go beyond finances. We dive into the soul of money and into the truths no one usually talks about.